flip it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it. Technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Technologic.
So we'll have to be careful tonight. Yeah, he's not on. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You are now.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be very careful. We're gonna be very
faith.
Gotta have faith. Yeah, we're gonna be very careful tonight. We're going to be on our best behavior because this is a new night for us.
It is.
You never know who might be new tuning in.
Do not attempt to adjust your radio.
True.
That's right. You may
You're
have
wondering who this is.
Yeah. I never know what. Yeah, I already started that. You never know what used to be here. Maybe music. Since there was no one here.
I remember we ruined Daniel's.
That is true.
Oh my goodness.
One of his
with Greg McVickers.
Yeah, Greg McVickers. Yes.
What was the name of that show?
Undercurrents.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I used to listen to that too. I was like, I know. Daniel,
I'm so sorry we've ruined
our undercurrents for both of us.
No, we're gonna have to be very careful tonight because I know for some, or at least for me. I mean, I don't do profanity.
I was going to say.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying I have. I'm just saying I don't in general.
If there was ever a time on this show to use the F word, tonight's the night. Because Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. Oh, Zuckerberg.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I know y'all are shocked. By the way,
I have deactivated my account for the third time now, apparently.
And we'll give you more
at least third
information on that. And of course, let's just say something here. You could go read this stuff for yourselves. We don't discourage that, obviously, and you probably could find out about a lot of what we cover in 3 or 4 minutes if you wanted to, but you won't.
We do.
But you won't get our opinions on them.
That is true, and we can't get yours.
That's right, but we would like to get yours.
Yeah. Call us at 256-782-5600. Did that backwards.
Yes, we did. And you can be on the Hey Techies Show, but if you've never heard the show, it's Hey Techies Show. And we do have a new night, Monday night, 7 p.m. We were on Thursday nights for 3 years, and we are just excited to be on tonight, Monday night.
Needed to change it up.
Yeah, and for a lot of reasons, we're going to be able to have more shows this way. We should not be preempted due to the majority of sports.
Because we're greedy. It's because we're greedy.
Well, last year was tough.
That was this year. That was the beginning of this year.
Well, but I'm talking about the last season, if you want to call it that, was kind of it was at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. That's true.
Yeah.
And if we kept the Thursday night show,
there would be
January and February there'd be no Hey Techies shows at all.
We know our fans can't go that long.
That's right, and we wouldn't want them to. So anyway, but really, this is the Hey Techies Show. It's 3 guys just sitting here talking tech. I know you think that's boring, but we talk other things too.
Yeah,
and
we
sort
do.
of give you we come up with all kinds of
Sometimes you wonder, is this a tech show?
Yeah, sometimes you wonder. Tidbits of technology, and also we want to help you fix your technology issue. Now, we don't get much of that, but we'll be glad to take your call to see what, tech issue you might have. I'm Michael, and this is Bruce and the Guru. How are you doing tonight, Guru?
I'm doing well. I'm trying to fix the website where it says Mondays now.
I think we'll have to look at that later.
Well, I just fixed it.
Oh, good. And you'll have to show me what you did that I didn't do.
If you are shy, because we have some people that are shy, don't want to call in.
Yeah.
You can email us.
That's correct.
At questions@heytechieshow.com.
Questions@heytechieshow.com.
And Bruce will not be monitoring that. It comes to an email address that I have.
Yeah, we call Bruce the talent because he just shows up.
Sometimes.
He just shows up and like, where's my Skittles?
Yeah, where are my Skittles?
Well, we're afraid if we bring them, that's all we'll hear in the microphone.
That's true.
And that would just be very unprofessional. Yeah, it'd be unprofessional. Yeah, I wish we had mute buttons on each different spot. That would be nice. Cough buttons, as they
You know
call
how
them.
we could get that? If you became a patron.
Yeah, I still don't think we'd get that. But anyway, you can see our beautiful faces at HeyTechiesShow.com via YouTube. We have a website, and you can also listen to us online if you're not in the area. And the online audio, we love to have you. And I don't know about the guru, but you can follow me at Hey Techies Mike. Hey Techies Mike on Twitter.
On the website, we have our Twitter handles.
Well, we do.
And
but,
Bruce has one, even though he doesn't.
Yeah, but he's never going to use it. And the guru is Hey Techies Guru, I think. The guru. Is it Hey Techies?
It's on the website.
Okay.
You know, we've been doing this for 3 years. And I've got a question. Is it the Hey Techies Show?
No,
or
it's
just
Hey Techies Show.
Hey Techies, HTS.
There's no the.
No, the.
No.
We could be the Hey Techies Show.
No, it's Hey Techies Show.
I've always wondered that.
It's not. Whatever. Oh, my goodness.
Let's go with what our chief techie, Michael. He's the chief techie.
Yeah, thanks.
I would say whoever registered our domain name, I would go with them.
Well, that's who did it. That's what he's saying. I registered the domain name.
There you go.
Yeah. It was the one that wasn't taken.
Because the was taken?
No,
Okay.
it was. Wasn't.
I'm just saying, we'd sound.
Believe it or not, I know it's shocking, but the Hey Techies was not taken in the United States.
Oh well.
There was some other little show that I think in another country that had the terms Hey and Techies.
Yeah.
But it didn't have anything to do with something we're doing. So
well,
I felt pretty safe on it.
So I know there's a lot of news left over from last week. Since
yes, there is. Actually,
Guru decided to talk about Apple for 3 hours.
Oh, there's more Apple news this week.
Yeah.
Or I would say this. I was concerned we would have very little to talk about news between last Thursday and this Monday as we made the switch to the new Knot. But let me tell you, there's like 2 weeks worth of stuff that's happened in the last 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
It's
no
crazy.
doubt about it. Well, Facebook alone.
Yeah, Facebook
I
alone.
mean, and I've got some other stuff to blow up the show later. Just some ideas.
Some ideas.
Yes, just some things that pretty controversial, I think.
Well, all I can say is if you still have a Facebook account, my first thing would be why.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Why? I don't understand. And this is the thing. Do we want to get into this now?
You can start it. I mean, we'll go to break in a few minutes.
This really affects more than just Facebook, right? This affects.
Oh yeah, well, there's no doubt about
anything that you've had connected to Facebook.
Correct, because like I'm going to steal your thunder here.
No,
Don't mean to.
away.
I was reading an article this morning or earlier today, rather, where they were explaining, hey, you know that easy login with Facebook. Yeah. There you go. You're all the rest of your, and those other companies are loving it because they get to trove, and Facebook's troving of what you're giving them. So I never do that. I never use that login. I always log in with something else if I'm logging in, and the ones they were talking about was WhatsApp and let's see, Spotify, Instagram.
Well, Instagram's owned by Facebook.
They are, and there's other sites. I mean, I see it all the time. Log in with your Facebook account. I never do that. For one reason, I don't want the same continuity across all things. I don't. Yes, I have a Facebook account.
I apparently still do. I have not logged into that thing in probably 7 years at least.
Yeah, if you're concerned about your Facebook account or any of your other accounts, call in here. We'll be glad to talk.
Sure enough, that account I deactivated 7 years ago, I could surprised I could remember the password for it.
I was impressed.
I was shocked. It's no longer that password. Don't know what it is now. And I left them another
1, 2, 3, 4.
I want to say
secret.
Every single time that I have quote unquote deactivated that, I have left them a little letter explaining, because they always like, why are you leaving? And
yes, you left it quite a book.
Well, this one wasn't that long, but I always, in the past, like I know the last one I left, I was like, look, delete everything. Like, I'm not coming back, period. You do not have permission to keep my stuff. Of course, that means nothing. And nobody ever read it. So that's why I was a little, I guess I was a little funnier with this last one. So.
Really?
Yeah. Just told them for all that is Zuckerberg instead of holy.
All it's Zuckerberg.
And his alien personality.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't even remember what I said after that. Basically just, like the telecom companies that don't understand what the word unlimited means. Please go look up the word deactivate, and I prefer the part of the definition that states
the
destroy.
deactivate stuff.
Yeah, it's like, so when I say deactivate, I mean that part of the definition when it says destroy. So destroy this that it ever.
Well, when we come back, I think we got a caller on the line.
Yes, we do.
All right,
and we'll get
keep us in suspense, Guru. Hey, Techie
sure will.
Show.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies Show for your listening pleasure.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of
Welcome into the Hey Techie Show. So glad to have everybody in tonight, and thank you for your time spending with us.
You're welcome.
As far as I know, we still have a caller on the line. Who is calling tonight, the Hey Techie Show? Hello?
Hey.
I was right. Bruce was right.
It's our main man,
He
Micah.
said it was main man Micah.
It's your listener from the Northeast. Welcome to a manic Monday with Hey Techies. This is great that you're on Monday nights.
Well, we're super glad you called.
Yes,
super glad you called.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guru wouldn't tell me who it was. It was cause like, well, I've got to guess who it is, because if anybody would have anything to say about this, I guarantee it's our main man, Micah. So I'm so glad you called. I want to hear what you got to say.
First of all, it's only 90 million people. I mean, how could it possibly affect anyone, this Facebook crash? It's only 90 million folks.
Just a smidgen. Just a
smidgen, yeah.
Which is actually true when you think about it, because Facebook has, 2.2 billion users, and it's only 90 million. So really, hardly
not
any
that
at
bad.
all.
This is a small percentage.
I guess I missed that. I didn't realize it went up to 2 point something. I remember when they were at $1 billion. I did not realize it's that high. Wow.
Yeah.
I must have missed that story, which is possible with me.
But what I find the most interesting about it, Facebook asks for your phone number, which you don't have to post on your website, but a lot of people log in with their phone number, with their cell phone number.
Yeah, I don't do that.
But they found that even though that phone number isn't going to be posted on the website, they're selling it. That phone number that you're logging in with, if you give them that information, they're selling it. Other people have it. There's been research that's been done on that, and it's been hacked. So people now have, if you've used your phone number on Facebook, if you've given it to Facebook, and you're one of those 90 million, your phone number's out there too. It's a scary place, let me tell you. I'm glad I never got a Facebook account because it really is a scary place, and you're giving up privacy, and there are no privacy laws in the United States. So you're giving away information for free. You are the product. It's a very frightening story, and I'm sure you'll go into it more. But I just had to call and welcome you to Monday nights.
We appreciate that. Now, you're correct. It is frightening. The problem we have right now is no one really knows who's been affected. I mean, you've got a chunk of what they say is 90 million, and we're not 100% sure of to what level.
Well, that's what Facebook's saying. But, I mean, they had full read. I mean, whatever I have access to whenever I log into my theoretical Facebook is what they have access to.
Well, they said they've exposed a glitch, they call it, or a bug rather, in the view me as basically page, where you can view your profile as what others see you. And apparently there was a video link on there that they were able to exploit. They're getting like a unique identifier and able to get in through that way. That's my understanding of it.
Do you guys remember the big Fire Sheep hack that happened, about 5 years ago? With Fire Sheep, it was an add-on that you could get for your Firefox browser, and you could capture anybody logging in and capture their cookies, logging into any account anywhere, and be able to get into it. And this is the same thing. It captures your login cookie, and that's out there. So it's a matter of, if you have a Facebook account and you decide you're going to keep it and not just delete it, change everything on it, including your phone number if you can. But it's really, you don't know if you're one of those 90 million people, and any information that you have, your Facebook account can be hacked now.
Hey, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it puts you in a very difficult position, and people, how many people change their password all the time?
Agreed. Yeah, very few.
And this is something that really does need to be done now if you have a Facebook account, because you don't know, and you don't know if you're going to be contacted. They don't have to tell you if you've been hacked. There's no reason for it. They can just let it go.
And I don't know if you heard what I said earlier. I mean, it's been 7+ years since I logged in, and I had to, because I quote unquote deactivated my account, but it's still there. So I had to log in, and I set it to a ridiculous amount of characters and complexity. But again, I mean, they store it in plain text or what,
Yeah, that's
whatever,
the other thing.
Or this other way around it. There's no authentication even needed. You know, it's like I've said I don't want it there anymore, and it's still there. It's still something I have to keep up with.
That's part of the thing that, again, many people don't understand about Facebook. It's not your account.
Oh, yeah,
it's
not. Yeah,
that's right.
But once you log on to it, once you create that account, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to them. You've given it to them. Everything that you've signed, everything that you've agreed to, the terms and conditions, it belongs to Facebook. Even deleting it doesn't mean you can delete it unless you live in the European Union, where you have the right to be forgotten. But in the United States, no.
Nope.
It's not your account. It's not your information. It's none of that. It belongs to them. It's the same thing with Google. It's the same thing with any account.
I was about to say Google. I mean, you're the product there too.
Yep.
Exactly.
You want free email and free, personal productivity tools. There's a cost to that, and it's your information.
Yeah. So it's something to be aware of. Let me ask you a question, because I don't think I've called you on this phone before. How do I sound?
Good.
Yeah, sound great.
You're probably one of the best ones we've had in a while, actually.
I have cut the cord recently, about 2 weeks ago. I no longer have Time Warner phone or anything. I'm talking to you on Uma.
Okay.
A great little product.
That's what I've got.
And it's been working very, very well. And I don't have cable any longer. I cut that and using DirecTV now. Found a few glitches in it, but it's working okay. But yeah, this is Uma, which gives you free nationwide calling for just the taxes and fees every month, which is what, a little under $10. So
yeah, I think I pay.
great.
I think I pay about $4 a month for mine because I have Uma.
Okay, so you can't lay down a little blip like that and me not ask. What are the glitches with DirecTV now that you've experienced?
What I found is not. I had a Roku 3 that I was using it on, and it was working okay, but it was slow and it had to reboot every so often, and there were a few problems like that. So I picked up a Roku Ultra, and plugged that in, have it plugged into the same TV, and I use that, and it's a little faster and it's a little bit better. But the real glitch is with the cloud DVR, and I've been trying to figure this out because when I play back on the cloud DVR anything that I record from the CBS network, now naturally it's my local affiliate, but anything that I record on a cloud DVR with the CBS network, like I was watching 60 Minutes last night, watching the Paul McCartney interview, and all of a sudden, and it's anything that I record, I'll be watching it, it'll be good, then there'll be a gap in the audio, then the audio will pick up, and it'll be completely out of sync, and I cannot get it back into sync, even if I shut it down and go back to it. It won't get back into sync. However, on the Roku 3, with a slightly older processor, that doesn't happen. And it only happens on the CBS affiliate. It's the only. It doesn't happen on any other channel that I record. Only on the CBS affiliate and only with the Roku Ultra because I left the Roku 3 plugged in. I go back and forth trying to figure out what's going on. Sent some tweets to Roku. Sent some tweets to the cord cutters. Sent some tweets to DirecTV now. Nobody's gotten back to me. But it's really interesting how it happens only with that affiliate, or at least only with CBS. I don't know if it's the affiliate or if it's CBS, and it only happens on the Roku Ultra. So it's something to do with audio processing. Can't quite figure it out.
Yeah, wow. I was going to say it has maybe something to do with however they're encoding their audio and video, and it's something with that particular hardware because obviously it's working on the Roku 3.
Yeah.
It's just one of those weird features. I guess not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
I think we all struggle with that, but yeah, it's difficult. It's very challenging. You would think the newer and better hardware would be able to handle it a lot better.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with because they just started giving audio with the Ultra. You have Dolby DTS and a few other features, and I think that maybe it has something to do with that kind of encoding that's going on, and it somehow or another catches up, and I have it plugged in. The connection is the audio connection is obviously the same. It's coming from my TV into my sound bar with a SP diff cable, and it's fine with everything else. So it's obvious, and I'm connected with the HDMI. It goes into two different HDMI inputs, but the one input was always a Roku 3. The input for the Roku Ultra is my old cable box input. Shouldn't make any difference. And everything else is perfectly fine. It's just CBS and only when I'm playing back from the cloud DVR and DirecTV now.
I wonder if you were to flip those two different devices to the reverse the inputs, like put the Roku Ultra on the other HDMI and vice versa with the Roku 3 and try that.
That's a good idea.
And you could rule out the input. I mean, it shouldn't be an issue, but just to kind of rule it out.
No, that's a good troubleshooting idea. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, the only other thing I could think of, which I don't know that it would have any effect and can't, and this is probably pointless, but have you tried it without the sound bar?
No, I have not. I don't have the audio switched on. I don't have the audio switched on the TV, but the sound bar, the connection from the sound bar to the TV is the same regardless.
Yeah. Right, I agree. It shouldn't have any effect.
That's highly unlikely, but that's yet another thing if you want to go to that extra step. Well, I would flip the HDMI
I agree with
first.
that.
I've had HDMI ports go bad on televisions in the past one would work great and one was flaky.
Well,
yeah,
so
yeah, that could definitely happen. But what I can't figure out, this is where it really gets strange, is why it only happens with that one channel.
Agree.
Yeah, that's even makes it more where it's not everything. It's that one bit of content.
Would be curious to know if others are having this issue on a particular channel.
I have tweeted it. Now I don't have a lot of followers, but yeah, I would be curious to find out if anybody is having any kind of audio sync issues, particularly on CBS, because then it would mean it's CBS's encoding.
Yeah, and I actually saw some of your tweets, so I remember you tweeting these. So okay.
Well, if anybody sees them that happens to be listening, and I'm main fly on Twitter, please retweet because I'd like to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is. I've wondered about DirecTV Now because I've known some people that are trying it, and they use varying products because I think you can use an iPad up to an Apple TV to it, from what I understood.
Oh, sure.
Or even an iPhone or any iOS device, pretty much.
I have it on my iPhone. It works great, and I have to say that what I like about it in particular is that I can still sort of channel surf. I'm an old guy, and I just read a tweet recently, some information on how people older than millennials have a hard time cutting the cord because they like to go through the guide, and that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I like to flip through the guide and see what's on, and I miss that the most. But with DirecTV Now, I can. It's not quite as quick. It's not quite surfing, going back and forth. You got to scroll, but it's the closest thing to cable. I'm getting the same channels. And instead of paying, I think it was close to $110 a month.
Oh, yes.
I'm getting the exact same stuff, missing 5 or 6 channels that I might like to watch, but I'm still getting my Stars and Showtime and HBO. Now I'm paying $60 a month flat.
Pretty good.
It's incredible.
So what kind of ISP are you using, if you don't mind us asking?
My only choice is Spectrum up here for high speed, so I had to stay with them for my ISP.
Yeah.
And
do they have
cable,
any? Go ahead, Micah.
No, I've got my own cable modem, and I have it connected to a router, and I got 60 down and 6 up. It's supposed to be 100 down and 10 up, and it's $65 a month. But there's no other choice for high speed up here in Portland, where I am in Maine.
Yeah, most people usually don't have much of a choice when it comes to high speed. Any bandwidth caps that they?
No, I'm very fortunate with that. None whatsoever.
Yeah, we're not that fortunate down here.
You have Comcast down there, right?
Well, here in this general area is Cable One is the ISP for like Calhoun County, where our station's based out of. But like you go over the line into Etowah County to the west, like northwest, Comcast is very heavy there. But I can't speak for Comcast, but I can speak for Cable One. Is they assess what they call them bandwidth guidelines, and we talked about it on the show before. But basically, based on what level of service speed you have, you get so much allocated bandwidth per month, and if you exceed that more than 3 times, they make you upgrade your plan.
Well, what's going to be interesting, and we're in rural areas. I mean, granted, I'm in the largest city in Maine or close to it, but it's still a rural area, and you're in northern Alabama, which is a rural area, and so I don't have 5G yet, but it's coming.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to 5G because when it does get to us, it's going to make a huge difference. That's where we're going to see a difference in ISPs and being able to get things, and there'll be competition there.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be wonderful because I'll switch immediately. I have no love for Time Warner Spectrum.
Speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up. I had an article, I've had it for a couple of weeks now, that there are several cities, and I'm thinking one in Texas and a couple of others are testing the Verizon 5G.
Verizon 5G is rolled out in a couple of places in Texas. T-Mobile has rolled it out in a few places, and AT&T is rolling it out. And Sprint has. I don't know if Sprint has. I don't think they will because they should be merging with T-Mobile sometime soon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do have it. So anyway, yeah, but the thing is, they have an actual product that it's like a. It's the actual receiver in your home, and a lot of apparently some customers are trying it out in different cities.
Yeah, Houston, Indianapolis, L.A., and Sacramento.
So it should be interesting to see how this progresses, because I do agree that this is one area that could bring a lot of competition in this particular product here. And for one thing, a lot less infrastructure is going to take. But now there is a different issue that we've talked about here. Depending on what your terrain is, there's going to be need to be more towers because of it being 5G. It won't go as far. It doesn't cover as much. So that's going to be a problem.
Wasn't there a rule, and I can't remember, but didn't Congress or the FCC just passed a ruling saying that 5G could attach, or other places could attach to telephone poles without seeking permission of local companies now? So that's going to make a big difference.
That is true. That is true. Of course, it'll probably be some folks telling us how it's frying our brain at that level. Yeah, and it might be. I don't know.
And that's been the kind of the barrier of competition with like cable companies because of they basically have a legal monopoly to operate in municipalities and counties across the country because of the infrastructure that they put in place. And, well,
one thing that Verizon's doing with their 5G is that for current customers, excuse me, it costs $50 a month, and new Verizon non-Verizon customers $70 a month,
right?
Which is so like the opposite of like way DirecTV always did it, and Dish, and like that's. I can't believe I'm saying this about Verizon. Like that's so refreshing to see that somebody that's been loyal to them.
It's usually the deals that for new customers only. We'll give you the special deals. Like, what about these loyal customers?
I've been a customer with you for 20 years, and you're not going to give me a break? Nope. Keep paying that $300 a month, buddy.
Well, and that's what happened to me when I switched off my Spectrum TV, because they said, no, we're not going to give you a break. You're with us. That's it. If you were a new customer, we would. And when you're gone for 31 days, you'll be offered new deals, but we're not going to give you the break now to keep you as a customer. I said, okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
But, Guru, you brought up a really interesting point about the competition and the lack thereof because the infrastructure that was put up by the cable companies. Many years ago, the FCC passed some regulations about copper phone lines, that copper phone lines put in back when it was just AT&T or Ma Bell and all that they had to be shared with anybody else that wanted to go on the copper phone lines. And that's how we got DSL.
Exactly.
Now, they put that in, and that's still in place for copper phone lines. But when the rules came about fiber optic phone lines, which are owned by the cable companies, they said, nah, you don't have to share.
Right.
But if they did, then we'd have competition again. And it's funny that because one thing's made of sand, it doesn't have to be shared. The other's made of copper. It does have to be shared.
Yeah.
There's no competition, but it's the same thing. It's a line.
Right.
It's a line carrying data. Some's analog, some's digital.
Right.
I don't understand why the FCC would have ruled for one and not for the other. It should be the same thing.
Yeah, but now you have phone companies that are doing some of their backbone infrastructure even locally is fiber. I know around here with AT&T Uverse, it's fiber. It's fiber to your neighborhood. So
it is, and they're doing that because it pays them to do it. Because based on the way the regulations are written, they don't have to share that.
Exactly. That's crazy because now I mean it's all digital now. I mean they're doing away with analog because they can push more down if it's digital, no matter what the medium.
Right, and when you and if you connect your phone with fiber with AT&T, they cut your copper lines so that you can't switch back to anybody else.
Like you're done. Bye.
Yep, it's over. So
yeah.
But although if you ask them not to cut the line, they won't. But as part of their service contract, and they do it, they don't tell you they're doing it unless you know enough to ask them not to, and then they won't because they're not allowed to.
So, yeah, it's one of the things you have to know to specifically say don't do that, or otherwise they do it. Yeah.
Well,
but anyway, for any new listener, now they know how we can go on, how you guys and we can go on and ramble about different things, and it's not just tech because tech covers everything.
Really yes.
And when you talked about titles and stuff like that, I think somebody they were trying to say what your title was, Michael. You're the high techie.
yeah. Well, nah. I don't live in Colorado, so I can't be the high tech.
You're the chief techie. that would work well down here. The Native Americans they used to occupy these lands.
Now we have
ago.
so many of the people we've offended already in the last 30 seconds.
Welcome to the Hey Techies show.
Yeah, that's right.
We can dump the last 7 seconds up there.
That's okay.
Oh, man.
Well, Micah, we really appreciate you calling us,
Yeah,
man.
it's good hearing from you,
Well,
buddy.
great hearing you. Wonderful talking to you, and welcome to Monday nights. I'm glad you're on Mondays. It's a better night for me. I hope I should remember to tune in a lot more frequently now.
Well, thank you
Nice.
so much. And I think about you often, by the way. I thought about you
sorry?
I think about you. Yeah. Well, the reason I'm saying that is I was thinking the other day, because I'm real quickly, and I'll let you go. But there's a couple of shows I watch, and ironically, I was viewing a few of them. And since you mentioned Luddite, that word has shown up on more shows than I can count. It's just odd. I never really heard that. I mean, I've heard the word, but not since you mentioned it to the show years ago or even talked about it. I didn't hear it much. But I was thinking about you the other day, and I was thinking, well, now you told us you worked in an electronics store, right?
I did many years ago.
Yeah,
I worked for a couple of different ones.
How did you stay a Luddite if you worked on an electronics show? It's electronics shop. Sorry.
Well, that was back in the late 1970s and 1980s, and that was high tech back then. But what was high tech back then, and I had a cordless phone.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little different now.
No, I know.
It's kind of like with me, like after a full day at work in front of a computer, that's the last thing I want to put in front of my eyes away from work.
Oh, I know. No kidding. Yeah. Well, our friend, you take care of yourself.
You guys be good. It was great talking with you, and have a wonderful night. And again, welcome to Mondays. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much,
thanks,
Micah.
Micah.
We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Pardon me.
You're
What-
pardoned.
I am?
Yeah.
Well, I'm also having texts going back and forth about some
Yeah,
other
there's,
things.
yeah.
That's crazy. Ted finds the oddest things.
He does.
You have to give you credit on that one. Well, thanks, Micah, again. We appreciate the call so much.
Yeah.
And, I wonder...
Real quick, Micah did say something about, them using your phone number, even
Right.
if you've not posted it. And I had this conversation with my wife the other day because she, of course, has the Facebook app on her phone. And I said, please delete that or delete me as a contact. Because they are also using your contacts information if you have the app installed and using that to sell to advertisers. So it's probably the reason why I keep getting so many robocalls. But I've honestly, because of all the scamming that's going on, and I want to say they said by next year, 50% of cell phone calls will be all spam calls.
Yeah, I know.
If you're not a
that's
contact
so
in my
frustrating.
phone, I don't pick up. If
Yeah.
you need to get in touch with me, you'll leave a voicemail. I will look at the visual voicemail, and if it says something, I will listen to it, make sure I recognize that person's voice, and then I'll call them back. But otherwise, I just don't pick up anymore. It's not that important.
Yeah, if it's that important, they'll leave a message.
Yeah. It's Stacy calling about my credit card accounts. Nothing's wrong with your accounts, but we just want to talk to you.
Of course.
Yeah, you want to give me a new credit card? No, thank you.
Well, when the Hey Techie Show comes back, we will reboot
Yeah.
and finish up with these stories that are kind of out there that we've been talking about, maybe Facebook. And I know Guru's got some Apple stuff
And I may
hanging in the wings.
I'm going to go get a Snickers.
Hey Techie Show. Be right back. Welcome back into
The Hey Techies Show.
So glad to have you with us. And if you'd like to be on the show, just like we had our good friend Maine man Micah from the state of Maine, by the way, 256-782-5600. And you can be on the show, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about tech-wise, or maybe something that's just a little off the beaten path.
We can spin anything in the tech.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
sure
that Snickers hit the spot.
Did it?
Did you use your Android Pay to pay for it?
No, so this is my replacement phone. And I haven't. One thing about getting a replacement phone is every time you go to open an app, you're like, oh, crap, I got to sign into this one. Oh, I got to finish setting this one up. And now, you and I have had this conversation in the past. Whenever you used your stuff to transfer between your Apple phones.
Right.
And I was able to just use a USB-C cable, plug both these in.
Yeah.
Transfer, finger air quotes, everything. Of course, then it goes out and downloads all the apps.
It's not technically a transfer.
Yeah.
Transfer's enough.
It just says, hey, this is all we had. This is where it was.
Yeah.
It did not put my background photos that I had before, my wallpapers.
Really?
Did not put them there.
Well, when you restore from an Apple iTunes backup, it does that.
Yeah.
Because like
from a backup, I'm sure it would do that from a backup, but I'm saying
like
from phone to phone.
This background photo on my phone, I've had this thing for
Yeah.
years, and I don't even know where the picture is. But it's as I replace phones,
It's right there on your phone.
Well, I can't get a hold of it. I like that photo. I took that
Yeah.
photo years ago, and I like it.
I'm sure if I had created an offline backup, it would have done it, but
Yeah.
just from phone to phone, it didn't.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a long way to go there. I understand. I understand them making you go out and re-download the app. That way some verification gets to happen. You make sure you're on the latest version, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera.
I'm old school. I'd rather just back it up. Like if I backed up this PC laptop today and used something like Clonezilla or something.
I would like to have
bit
that
for bit.
option. I would like to have that option.
Just I want you to put exactly how it was. Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be the default. What they have could be the default, and you could say, I trust everything that's on my current phone.
Yes.
Make a bit for bit back.
Yeah. Give you a choice.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And it don't have to be default, like you said. It can be the advanced.
Yes. So, I don't know.
Well,
There's still apps that I'm opening up, and I'm just like, oh, well, crap, I got to sign into that. Just like the other day, my wife and I were going through Starbucks, and I was like, I got this. And I was like, oh, crap.
I don't have this.
I don't have this. Hand me your phone. Hurry.
So, speaking on that same line of mobile phones, the iPhone XS has been out a few weeks, or about 2 weeks, I guess. 2 weeks, maybe 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. A few weeks. We'll say a few. And some of these users of the phone probably wish that the only problem they had was not being able to get a backup. So we're going, and this is from Mac Rumors, my go-to source. But they're in the URL. They're calling this one of the. It's not in the title, the headline, but they're calling it ChargeGate. So ChargeGate. We had Antenna Gate, we had Ben Gate, we had what was the other gates we've had from Apple?
Ben Gate.
You remember the phones with Ben?
Yes, I know. I remember.
Well, here's the headline: some iPhone XS and XS Max devices won't start to charge while screen is turned off.
Yep.
ChargeGate, here it is, folks. So a number of iPhone XS and XS Max owners in the Apple support communities and Mac Rumors forums have reporting that their devices fail to start charging when a lightning cable is plugged in while the screen is turned off. Just the screen is turned off, not the device is off, but like you've turned your screen off, sleep. Right. Usually if you plug in your device to charge it, it'll start charging, right? Well,
right. Normally.
Well, some people are having trouble with that with these new devices. And, of course, the experience is various. It's not like every device. This is only certain devices. Not everybody's experiencing this issue. I guess it's intermittent or it's intermittent devices.
Yes.
But in most cases, it's working. It's working correctly. But in rare cases, the iPhone stops responding. Let's see. I skipped something. In most cases, the iPhone XS or XS Max begins charging once the user wakes up the device by tapping or raising the screen. However, some users report having to both wake the iPhone and disconnect and reconnect the lightning cable to get it to charge. In rare cases, the iPhone stops responding entirely at some point after a lightning cable is plugged in while the screen is turned off. And there's a video here. Somebody's demonstrating this.
I've seen one of these videos. So that they had about 10 iPhones, the new ones, and they would have varying degrees.
That's like $10,000.
That's the first thing I thought about, Guru, when I saw it. Like,
at least
there's at least 10 grand sitting there on the table. Well, when they finally pay it, whatever they may have bought them outright. I don't know.
And going on, this article goes on to say that some users have speculated the issue could be related to USB restricted mode, which was introduced in iOS 11.4.1, which prevents an iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch from communicating with USB accessories via the Lightning connector if 1 hour or longer has passed since the device was last unlocked.
Right.
However, while USB restricted mode is enabled by default in iOS 12, people are saying that disabling this feature does not help. Apple also has a support document that ensures that, quote, your phone, iPad, and iPod Touch charges as usual when it's connected to a USB power adapter while the feature is toggled on.
Right.
So that's really, I don't think that's not the problem here.
But what I saw is that for some of them, they were saying that if they flipped the cable over, it would work.
Really?
And
Just don't say that.
I watched a guy. I watched the whole video.
You're plugging it in wrong.
Yeah, that's right. You're plugging it in wrong.
But
if you flip the cable over,
the Lightning cable's design It's not. One,
I agree.
It can go in either way.
The person said they didn't think it really should have anything to do with it, and it shouldn't.
And I wonder. You say that. I wonder if this is actually hardware related.
Well, that's the other thing. They're thinking that this may be hardware related.
And since it's not widespread, like every
it's
device,
not everybody's not having this issue.
I think it's highly unlikely it's iOS related, software related.
Right. Well, and others were saying, well, my older iPhone 10, which I have, well, not mine, but others were saying that they had an iPhone 10.
You have an iPhone 10?
I do not.
Okay.
They had an iPhone 10,
yeah.
And theirs were not having these issues, but they were on iOS 12. They had updated to iOS
And they're
12.
having the issue too?
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. They're not having this issue, having had updated to iOS 12. So in that sense, it doesn't appear on the surface now to be an iOS 12 issue,
right.
At least with the previous iPhone.
Yeah, so if you have a 10S, 10S Max, the best advice we can give you, and Mac Rumors gives you similar advice, is you need to talk to Apple. Just contact Apple support. And, I mean, I'll say this. I've had good experience with Apple support.
That's true.
Now, sometimes I have to escalate the issue to like a senior Apple Care representative, but usually when you get to that level, they have a little more autonomy to take care of the situation.
Yeah.
And I think, especially since you just bought the device, obviously,
I
think they're going to work with you to try to remedy the situation. It may require a visit to an Apple store, and depending on your location, that may prove to be difficult, but maybe they can work something out where they can do an advanced replacement. They'll ship you a new phone and all that good stuff. So
just ship us a new phone. Absolutely. Matter of fact, why don't you go, Apple, just send us one. Send the Hey Techie Show one. Yeah, we'll test it out.
Sure.
We'll
be glad to test it out.
Yeah, we'll go through the and by the way, go ahead and send us a Pixel 3.
Yeah.
Might as well just do that.
XL.
An XL version.
We need to call somebody else. Apple won't have that.
They can get. They got connections.
I want
it's funny you bring that up because I was
Pro.
just about to say, Guru. Well, I don't know. You're pretty good about this too, because you've gotten some companies to send us stuff to test out.
Yeah, not in a while. Anyway,
and I had a wild thought over the weekend, because in the past few months have sold and bought homes, and left my old security system with the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking at who do I want to go to next. I'm not sure if I want to stay with the same company. And I thought, well, what about one of these like kind of DIY things? What's the one I'm thinking of?
Simply Safe.
Simply Safe.
That's kind of
that's
the big one.
Yeah, that's the
There's
big
some
one.
other ones.
Because I was like, I'll just go ahead and pay for the stuff. Pay, and then I can pay somebody $10 a month instead of what I was paying.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is a month. And
15 and 25.
What's the 25?
Well, the 25 is more monitoring, and you get
what do you mean monitoring?
You could get an app. The 15, the
$14.95.
That's with Simply Safe.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
The
difference is just more money.
I'm just
well, it's still relatively inexpensive, actually, when you think about the safety of your home.
But
absolutely.
I was starting to think, I may decide to go with one that I have been very skeptical in the past. And even when they first came out with it, I was like, come on, guys, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to try the Nest Secure system.
Okay.
So see if you can land that one.
No chance.
Now, is that the same one where that Bezos can unlock your house from his yacht?
No.
Yeah.
That's funny, though.
Well,
I was just curious.
Well, I've got a few more Apple things real quick. I'm going to try to squeeze in here in a
Squeeze them in.
So Belkin's got an accessory. It's called the Belkin Valet, where you can dock your iPhone and your Apple Watch. You know,
who owns Belkin now? Doesn't somebody own?
Anyway, but apparently there's some issues. It's not compatible with the iPhone XS and XS Max. People that have bought these before with their other iOS devices, and they've realized they are not working with this. So Belkin's Powerhouse and Valet are 2-in-1 charging docks for iPhone and Apple Watch. They include built-in Lightning connectors as well as Apple's watch chargers and their M5, which is made for Apple, certified. Thus, we haven't heard any reports. This is from 9 to 5 Mac of 2-in-1 charging docks not working with the 10S or 10R. So anyway, that was just a little tidbit there. So if you have one, just might want to be careful about compatibility. You assume it's going to work with every Apple device, but apparently there's something going on with that Belkin device. There's also, quickly here, iPhone XS users are complaining about skin smoothing selfie camera. It's like first world problems, what I thought when I read this. So the front-facing camera on the XS and XS Max have been receiving a lot of attention because of the selfies captured on new devices are drastically different than those captured with the iPhone X or earlier. So there's a thread on Mac Rumors and on Reddit where Apple has been accused of skin smoothing feature or a, quote, beauty filter, end quote, for prettier selfies from the front-facing camera. The effect was demoed by a Reddit user, and there's some images here where it basically, different, it's kind of like you Photoshop the selfie, on the fly.
Yes.
So first world problems there with the selfie.
Yes, right.
Front-facing camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
First world problems.
Yeah.
Let's see. Real quickly here, we got about a minute and a half. So this is another one we'll put in. It's from Consumer Reports. Should people be worried about the Apple, about heart conditions when they buy? Look, I can't even talk. Should people worried about heart conditions buy the new Apple Watch? Because the new Apple Watch has the ECG.
Right.
And we talked about this on the show when they released it. Like, I think you need to consult with your cardiologist and your doctor. Right. But this is an article from Consumer Reports, talking about, some of the stuff we already talked about. Talked about, worries about false positives and who it may be good for. But again, you can read that, but you're not getting medical advice from Hey Techies. You need to consult a medical professional.
Yeah, totally agree.
But I just saw this. I thought I'd share that with our audience here.
Consult with your Apple Watch.
No, do not. You need to work with your cardiologist and or medical family doctor. Or folks.
Something we haven't mentioned, but there is a new OS Wear out.
Yeah, not really excited about it. Moving on.
Wear OS. Dang it.
I knew what you're talking about. Unless they're coming out with a new watch, I really don't care.
Yeah, I know. And it's supposed to have some health features.
Well, unless you're coming out with a new watch, I don't care.
Apple's just going to run away with the wearable market.
They probably are.
You just get an iPhone. You'll be done, Bruce. You'll be good.
I will say this. No, I'm gonna
say it.
I'm gonna hold it on that. I'm gonna hold it till over. Hold it over.
Oh,
I'm gonna hold it over.
You'll hold it over.
Yeah. By the way, we have something coming up next. It's called Our Dose. By the way, if you've never heard the show, Our Dose is coming up.
It's the best part of the show.
Dose Hour.
You thought this hour was great.
Yeah, you think
wait till Our Dose.
Our Dose.
It's going to be fantastic.
And we will be glad to take your call in Our Dose. And we have quite a bit of information left to come up and discuss. Hey Techie Show. Be right back.
So stick around for Our Dose.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. President Trump today said he's given the FBI freedom to interview any witness it deems necessary to complete the investigation into sexual misconduct allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Last week, Christine Blasey Ford testified on Capitol Hill that Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when the two were in high school, and lawmakers agreed to push the pause button and allow a further investigation. However, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says a vote on the nominee will happen this week, and he blasted Democrats for continuing to go after Kavanaugh.
If you listen carefully, Mr. President, you can practically hear the sounds of the Democrats moving the goalposts.
Trump says he wants a comprehensive investigation of the allegations against Kavanaugh, but also wants it done quickly and continues to stand by his nominee. President Trump is celebrating a new agreement with Canada and Mexico today as a historic and terrific trade deal. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement would replace NAFTA, add some new provisions as well. NPR's Camila Dominowski has an update.
Trump campaigned on a vow to renegotiate NAFTA, but until this weekend, it wasn't clear if Canada would be on board. Sticking points included cows and cars. The deal lets American dairy farmers sell more goods to Canada and requires a higher percentage of a car's parts to be made in North America. It also calls for higher wages for auto workers. The president says the deal is good for everyone.
We have negotiated this new agreement based on the principle of fairness and reciprocity. To me, it's the most important word in trade.
Canada and Mexico are promised exemptions from car tariffs, but not from America's steel tariffs. The deal still needs to be approved by Congress. Camila Dominowski, NPR News.
A top immigration official is defending a plan by the Trump administration to deny green cards to immigrants who use public benefits. As NPR's Joel Rose explains, the head of the agency in charge of legal immigration spoke about the proposed rule change today.
The head of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Francis Cisna, wants to ensure that immigrants are self-sufficient by enforcing a long-standing law that immigrants cannot be a, quote, public charge. Under a proposed rule, the administration wants to expand the definition of public charge to include a wide range of benefits, including food assistance and housing vouchers. But at an immigration conference in Washington, Cisna said the changes do not apply to all forms of assistance.
So there should not be a mad rush to unsubscribe from all benefits. That is unwarranted, I think.
But critics say the proposal is already scaring immigrants away from using many benefits and potentially inflicting long-term damage on public health. Joel Rose, NPR News.
Relatively strong start for blue chips on the first trading day of the fourth quarter, though tech stocks gave up some of their gains. The Dow was up 192 points at the close. The Nasdaq closed down 9 points. The S&P 500 rose 10 points. This is NPR.
Technologic.
Hey, Techie Show! Hey, Techie Show!
Use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it.
In case you didn't know, this is the Hey Techie Show.
That's right.
Our dose. So you can totally that whole, I'm thinking about trying the Nest Secure or whatever it was. Don't even worry about it. It just goes back to whenever I said, I think this is dumb. I just went back and revisited it and was like, yeah, this was dumb. That's the reason why I never bought this. And the cost of it's ridiculous. Not just not the product itself, but I guess they have teamed up with Brink's home security monitoring, and it is without a contract $30 a month.
Wow,
for monitoring. Or you can pay.
You have to pay for the equipment too?
Yeah.
Man.
Or you can pay $20 a month and sign a 3-year contract. Yeah. So they give you $100 off.
We'll give you equipment. You put us on. You're on the hook for 3 years, and we'll we'll cut you $10 off a month.
Yeah, that is crazy expensive. That is
it is.
There's so many that you could go through. You could go through ADT and it'd probably be cheaper.
Yeah,
maybe not the monitoring per month, but they'll bill in the cost of the material and all that. over how many years, and you're probably...
You have that, was it Vivint? Or
Vivint, yeah. Vivint would
Vivint.
do the same thing. I don't know, man. It feels like nobody's gotten that 100% right yet.
Yeah.
Google really missed out.
Oh, heavens. Yeah.
Tisk.
Yeah.
I feel like Ring is getting pretty close, though.
All your information with Google, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They already know when you're they know if it's you going in or out or not.
That's
like
right.
they probably could tell you who the robber was before they even rang the doorbell to test. They'll be like, "Oh, we know who it was. We were tracking him on his phone."
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point.
This I want to mention this real quick, and then we can move on. This was something a holdover from last week, but we talked about the Facebook, you call it a security flaw that's now affecting 90 million people. This is a smidgen though; it's just a smidgen. So this is an interesting article I got. I found coding error. This is headline: Coding error sends 2019 Subaru Accents to the car crusher.
I wanted to. Yeah, I saw you had that on there.
What it is usually you hear about these recalls of all these SUVs or trucks or whatever it is, and there's some sort of issue, and you take it into the dealership or wherever, and they'll replace a part or whatever they have to do to rectify the recall.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get down here to it. So Subaru's got a recall notice they filed with the U.S. National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, where they're saying, according to that recall, the welding robots at the Subaru Indiana automotive plant in Lafayette, Indiana, were improperly coded, which means the robots omitted the spot welds required on the Accent's B pillar, which is part of the frame.
Huh.
And Consumer Report states that the B pillar holds the second row door hinges. As a result, the strength of the affected Accent's bodies may be reduced, increasing the possibility of passenger injuries in a crash. Subaru indicated in the recall that, quote, there is no physical remedy available, therefore any vehicles found with missing wheels will be destroyed, end quote.
Going to have to basically recycle them.
Luckily, only 9 Accents have been sold, and those customers are going to receive new vehicles. The rest were on dealer lots or in transit.
Good grief, what a mistake.
Yeah, and it's a coding mistake on the robotic welders that missed some welds. And they got all these vehicles, once they're fully assembled, and they can't, there's no way to fix them. Like,
And I would assume that these are human beings that are putting these codes in of some type for the robot.
I mean, somebody has to program them.
Well, I mean, they might be using the IBM guy. I didn't know if they were using that, that.
Oh, Watson?
Yeah, I didn't know if they were using Watson.
I don't think Watson's that sophisticated.
Oh, yeah, Watson's, man, he can tell you when an elevator's going to go bad.
And this article goes on to say that these defects are rare but not unheard of. An oft-told tale of software failure occurred in the 1980s when GM launched a major initiative to heavily automate its car assembly lines using robotics to compete with Japanese automakers. However, this effort didn't always go according to plan, as some of the GM's vehicle painting robots at its showcase luxury car, Detroit Hamtramck assembly plant, painted each other rather than the cars.
Okay.
But that's not really it's slowing down your production. But like these cars, these Subarus, like they made it all the way out of the plant.
Yeah,
and we're either on dealer lots or on the way to dealer lots, and some of them actually made it to consumers. But like something like that, they can't go and replace a piece. Like, oh, we there's a defective engine or defective transmission, we can just switch that out. No, when it's the frame of the vehicle, you're done. Man, all over a coding error. But we're so dependent on technology these days. Like
that, we are. That is very true.
Anyway, that caught my eye this past week, so just thought I'd throw that in there. I know it's kind of off topic, but it's sort of on topic.
I know you had a story in here that I have not read.
I probably hadn't read it either, but
actually,
anyway, usually if something
who
catches
are you talking to?
I was talking to Guru.
Okay,
but I already know. Yeah, right. Yeah, because your stories aren't in here.
They're
all in here.
Right.
Yeah.
But my point was this. It was going to tie into what I was going to already talk about. And I was holding over. I did notice that supposedly there is a flaw in the recently released macOS Mojave.
Yeah, I had that
supposedly
pulled up for last hour.
Lets hackers access protected files. Then we don't have to cover that right now, but I just want to tell you, I'm enjoying Mojave. I have it on this MacBook.
That was the first thing you said to me when you sat down.
And it's really cool.
Hey, Bruce, how's it going?
You running in dark mode?
Really enjoying this Mojave.
I do. Actually, what's cool, wait, just let me finish.
Okay. Just wait.
Wait for it.
I can't swear to everything because I haven't delved into every detail, but do you know that at a certain time at night, it turns the background dark? Like the background in the daytime is a daytime version of the desert, and at night it turns to a nighttime version of the desert. It's really neat. I mean, I know that's just fluff. I get it, but it's really cool.
Microsoft's had that probably for a long time in Linux.
Well, you probably could do that, yeah. But the point is, the other things I like stacks on the desktop. It cleans up your desktop. It really works really well. I
haven't messed around with Mojave much, but I will say I did try the dark mode, and I do like it. But the problem is the apps don't use it yet.
Yeah, they're going to have
to. So
it
was conflicting for me, so I switched it back. I said, "Nah, I'll wait."
I'm sure they're going to have to update the apps. And we do know that live on this show, the Guru updated his phone.
He did,
and he hasn't said a word.
There's some.
He's looking. He's trying to find. There was this time.
It does seem to run a little more snappier.
Okay.
But one thing that's just annoying the mess out of me is like on iMessage when you're sending pictures. You used to, like, you were sending pictures, you would go down and touch the camera icon. Which I know people can't see that really.
Yeah, okay. People know what you're talking about.
But when you did the camera icon, you had a choice. You could either do, like, you take a picture, or you could scroll through right there. And scroll through your cameras on the picture on your camera roll.
Now it probably goes straight to the camera.
It does. It's so annoying.
That makes sense.
But it's not. It's a big change from what it was before. You have to go down further and hit that little photos icon to get your photos. But there's so many times I've hit that camera icon. It's like, dang, I want that.
I see what you're talking about. I mean, when you're used to something working a certain way and you like how it works, you don't want to change that.
Yeah,
I agree totally.
I've got muscle memory built up, and it's hard to change.
No, I get that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to get it. I know.
I won't get it.
Yeah, I know. I know why. Well, anyway, I was curious about that. Guru. I hadn't had time to ask you. I hadn't made time to ask you because I know you just did this last Thursday.
Yes, it's a few days ago.
Yeah.
Well, I've got something I probably should have talked about in our Uno.
No.
Instead of dose.
Well, no.
So the people out there that would be interested in this can go sign up for it and hopefully get an invite. And I know Daniel will probably want to do this because he was just talking about needing to upgrade his PC. But Google has announced Project Stream, which lets you stream games in Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go sign up now, and if you are invited, starting Friday, you will be able to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey in your browser on any of your laptops or desktops. They are saying, though, that you need to have a minimum of 25 megs, so just over what used to be the FCC's definition of broadband before they changed it to 10 megs.
Okay.
But yeah, so go sign up for it. See if you get an invite. I signed up for it a while back, and we'll see if I get one.
Maybe you'll
figured I'd get in there and then I'd tell everybody. That was my whole plan. So still pretty neat. I would be interested to see how much it's going to cost a month. Of course, it's Google. It might be free, and they just mine the heck out of,
Yeah. Well, when the Hey Techie Show comes back, we'll probably have rumors, I hope. You got a few out there. And, of course, tomorrow is a big day for Google. So, Hey Techie Show, be right back.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The Little River Canyon National Preserve, located in Cherokee County, was created in 1992 by an act of the U.S. Congress and was dedicated as a unit of the National Park Service. The area's focal point is the Little River, which flows along Lookout Mountain and is an outdoor recreation destination. Small waterfalls, sandstone bluffs, trails, creeks, and streams draw visitors to the area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art,
Oh, that's cool.
Well, Bruce, do you think you would switch? Do you think you would switch to some other security system, or did you think you might be interested in this?
Yeah, I might be interested in Ring.
You might ring. Okay.
Yeah. So Guru, see if you can get us a sample.
No.
Yeah, man. I think Ring.
I think you're the one need to request it since you're going to be reviewing it.
Sure. Why? No strings attached.
Sure, there will be.
Oh man,
no strings attached.
I'm thinking this might be. I'm gonna have to do some more research on it, but this might be who I go with. I don't know. We'll see. The house I bought has a Ring doorbell on the front.
Oh well, there you go. You're not using that, I would assume.
No, I use it. Yeah. I've got the app set up, and whenever, of course, I'm not paying you can pay like $3 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is what's great about all this stuff. It's not per device. Like once you buy it, like if you had 7 Ring, because they have Ring cameras, they have Ring spotlights, they have Ring doorbells, they have Ring rings, they have. But they've got a whole security system with base stations and contact sensors, and
okay, all right.
They're coming out with the fire alarm, CO2 sensors, all that good stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. This may be who I feel more comfortable going with, and I would say Ring is not a fly-by-night corporation. I think they're sticking around for a little while.
Flying by day.
Yeah, maybe they're flying by day. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's promising, I suppose. And the month-to-month is inexpensive on the monitor.
Why don't you start us off, Michael? You got a couple in here. A couple of rumors.
Yeah, if I can get the Verge website to do what I want it to do.
I got that one pulled up.
By the way, Microsoft, they're holding a software event tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking Google's thing was tomorrow.
Oh, you said Google last week.
I really thought Google's was tomorrow. Is that not right?
Well, they canceled theirs because Microsoft's going to.
No, I doubt that's true.
So we better stay.
That was definitely fake news right there. Maybe I've had them, but I thought.
You are fake news.
Yeah, sorry. President Trump's a little slow on the punch tonight. He was tweeting. Whoa.
Yeah. He's, I got to put that down.
Hang on a second.
If you put it down, take it away from it.
No, October 9th. Okay. Google Pixel 3 event will place. I think I said it right the last time.
Okay.
But October 9th. I had that wrong. But now it's Microsoft that's supposed to have the Surface hardware event tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
what are they going to talk about?
That is a good question. One of the topics or the theories is the belief that possibly the Surface Laptop 2 will not sport the USB-C ports like their other devices are sporting.
Wait, say this again?
The Surface Laptop 2 and the Surface Pro 6, they believe, may not support USB-C ports. They may not have those ports. They may have the regular ports they've had.
Really?
Yes. That's one of the
kind of a departure from where everything's going.
Yeah. I just wish everybody would swap to see or Thunderbolt, whatever.
They're saying that they will come with 8 gigs of RAM, also have an Intel Core i5 processor option, 128 gigs of SSD storage. So we'll see tomorrow.
And it talks about in here that they introduced USB-C on both the Surface Book 2 and the Surface Go. But here's the thing: I have a Surface Book 2 in front of me. This is my personal device. It has USB-A, excuse me. what do you call normal? Define normal. But the USB-C port is the display adapter. That's the only thing you use it for. It's not like you can plug anything into it. Instead of
I was thinking you could use it to plug into a dock.
Oh, really?
I thought it charges it. I thought you could charge it too.
It's got its own charger.
No, I know that.
Well, I don't know.
I was thinking.
But that's the only way you can get, instead of having
I know what you're talking
mini
about.
display port, you have that. So I have like a bunch of a plethora of adapters over here.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. But I was really thinking.
I keep a plethora of.
You are a plethora. That's
I am
true.
a plethora. I have a USB-C to VGA, USB-C to DVI, which I don't know why I even bought this one. I never used it. This is the one I use the most, USB-C to HDMI.
Yeah, right.
Amazon Basics. And this one's some
and have you do all those work?
Yeah, they work.
Okay.
Most of the time.
I just keep these with me in case I need to plug this laptop into a
because if it's an
display.
Apple device, I'm sure that you have to buy one from Apple, or it's questionable whether it will work.
It's display on Apple devices. It's
USB-C. I'm talking about USB-C.
Oh,
see what I'm saying?
The new ones. I have an older Apple device.
Yeah, you never know about. I mean, I've seen weird.
I wonder if those will work with an Apple.
That's what I wondered, because sometimes
I can
they
test
have
it.
chips to be approved inside their cables. That happened too.
Of course, it never happens with Apple.
Oh yes, it does.
They're standards compliant.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it just hit me.
But when they're
owns
not,
Belkin. Whenever
Belkin owns Belkin.
No.
Sure they do.
Foxconn owns
Foxconn owns Belkin. Foxconn owns everything.
So
we just don't know.
speaking of Apple,
it's one way or another,
one
right?
way or the other.
We've been 2 weeks since an Apple release, so now there's more Apple rumors, or iPhone release. So there's iPhone rumors. So this one, front camera lens on future iPhones could be hidden with special pure black coating.
Well, that'll just help on the other problem they're having with the smoothing. I mean, you just won't know the camera's there, and it'll smooth you all at the same time.
So iPhone camera lens supplier Largan Precision is developing a special black coating for front-facing smartphone camera lenses, according to Jeff Poo, an analyst at Chinese investment firm GF Securities.
Jeff Poo.
His research notes shared by Taiwanese publication Electronic Daily News and Money DJ, spending the money, claims that one or two smartphone makers could adopt the technology as early as 2020. Given that Largan already has a relationship with Apple, it is speculated that the special coating could be applied to future iPhones.
Okay.
A translated version of the Economic Daily News report says that the special coating would allow the front camera to completely disappear. A translation of the Money DJ report says the coating will be pure black, eliminating the small spots like those visible in the notch on the iPhone 10 and newer. because that blasted notch, you can see stuff up in that notch, and it's just driving me crazy. I want it to be completely black.
Oh my goodness!
No, I'm being funny. So I mean, that's not like earth-shattering news there, but future iPhones they'll have stuff up there you won't be able to see it. It'll be pure black, completely invisible. And the best iPhone ever. The most scratch-resistant iPhone ever, the most durable iPhone ever, the most expensive iPhone ever.
Yeah.
By the way, you mentioned earlier, and we've mentioned on the show, and I think we have pretty good news articles that we substantiated this with, that there's not going to be a Google Watch.
You have told me
Pixel
that.
Watch. Well, we did, but let's.
You burst to my bubble.
Since this is rumor section,
there's gonna be a watch.
No, I didn't say that. Since this is the rumor section,
there's gonna be a watch.
But wouldn't that be? I mean, that if they dropped that after they said what they said,
that would be huge.
That would be.
What would be huge too is if all the leaks that have happened for the Pixel 3
are all wrong.
Yes, they're like, we put those out there. That's not what it is. This is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
I would be like,
I don't believe that's going to happen.
I need a new phone.
Yeah,
you got me.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, I know you keep saying this.
Not excited. Hey, just got a new phone Friday. It actually wasn't supposed to be here until
you
today.
got the old new phone Friday.
Yeah. Well, it's still the new phone. It's the current gen.
Current gen probably.
It'll be old next week. I got this Friday. It'll be old next week.
Now I know some have questioned over the years whether or not the let's see. Sorry, I just had a. Oh my goodness!
I'm questioning what were you saying? People have questioned.
What now?
What you're saying? Some people have questioned, and then you forgot what you were.
I know it's a shame.
It is a shame.
No, I got it. Hold on. Whether or not there actually have been any chip wars over the last many years, with maybe Intel running away with it. But AMD has a Zen 2, and apparently samples are already in labs, and some of the specs on it are 8-core, 16 threads, and up to 4.5 gigahertz on early testing, from what I can tell. And, of course, AMD, also Radeon Technologies. I mean, this thing, there would be really fast video cards with this product in there for sure. I had no doubt what the clock speed. Let's see. They're saying the chip featured a base clock of 4 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4.5. It was tested with DDR4 3600 megahertz memory, along with the Radeon RX Vega 64 liquid graphics card.
Liquid graphics.
Liquid graphics card. Yep, that's right. So, anyway, this will be in the show notes. It'll be interesting to see whether or not AMD can ratchet up the temperature on.
Or ratchet it down.
Well, yeah, ratchet. I'm talking about on the chip wars. I mean, it's sort of been. Yeah, it's been kind of quiet. Nah, it hasn't been. And not like it was.
Oh yeah,
many years ago. I mean, I remember people really getting into AMD chips and building computers with AMD chips.
Oh,
and
people still do.
They
that.
still
when
do.
the Ryzen stuff came out, man, that was huge.
They still do that. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I just don't hear it as much.
Well, you heard it here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess is that all we got for?
A little light on the rumors.
Well, Apple's. They're done.
I'm still holding out for these new Mac Minis that are supposed to be coming out before the holiday shopping season, which, if they're going to do it, they're running out of time. That's all I got to say. Apple, get to it. Get to it. It's just the 1st of October, so there's still time.
I think it would be awesome if they came out with a watch.
Oh, Apple already has a watch.
No, Google.
Just get an iPhone and get an Apple Watch and you're set.
No.
Nah,
Well, you're
that's not happening.
A couple months ago, for those new to the
same.
show, Bruce was close to getting an iPhone a couple months ago. Now, what you've changed your tune?
I don't know, man. I'm just like our president, a flip flop.
Oh heavens!
And we don't talk about politics in this show.
Yeah, we do.
He was being sarcastic. I don't know. Just some days I'm like, man, I'll swap. But then other days I'm just like, I can't do that just yet. And hopefully that yet never comes. I don't know. It's difficult. It's a difficult decision. There's positives and negatives to both sides.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Is that usually how it works? You got positives
That
and
is
negatives? I mean,
usually-
is there any other way it works?
And then
No,
there's
all
usually
positives?
something that balances.
Oh, good grief. Well, I have something to bring up, and I don't know how long, but we've got a little while. We'll see how this is something that I have been thinking.
Sounds like it's going to be controversial.
Yes, this is something I've been.
He's slow to bring it in.
No,
so
it's not slow. I'm just making sure I word it correctly.
Sure.
It's not controversial as
You're
we're
never
in
gonna
trouble
offend
or
me.
anything like that.
We've already offended our listeners.
No, you have.
No, I didn't say
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
No, I did
yeah.
not say a word. I mean, I don't care if I did, but I'm saying it was between you two.
Whatever. So anyway, I mean, I don't think this is shot in the news lately. All the things surrounding the Kavanaugh hearings and the situation going on there. But my mind. But
Okay.
But seriously, forgetting genders here.
Okay.
Because that's what I want. How I want to do this. Have we come to a time? I'm serious about this now.
Okay.
Have we come to a time that you're going to just about have to carry some kind of technological product around with you to document what you're doing, because your word is no longer enough? I mean, individuals' words are no under oath, under threat, penalty of perjury. It's not enough. You have to have video evidence that you did not do something.
Well, and even then, the video evidence is getting easier and easier to fake.
Well, I mean, and there's that.
What do you believe in?
Do you remember on the show, and it was early on, we covered a device that you could wear around your neck. It was a little camera, and it was like a video blogging device, and you could document your day. It would send it up.
HTC brought that out.
Yeah, well, I was thinking almost like a police officer's body cam.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you would.
They were ahead of the game on that.
Yeah. I'm not being
because it was when all the wearable stuff was
right.
coming out.
I'm not being flippant on this. I'm really serious. I mean, I'm concerned for my children in a little bit.
Ubiquity that came out with it. It was either it was either HTC or Ubiquity. Go on. You're concerned for your children.
Yeah, I am in the future. I'm just saying. Now I know that everybody will not end up in this type of situation. There's a lot more to it than that, but it just brings up some things with me that maybe we are to the point, and probably have already been there a while, that certain evidence is not going to be enough to prove your innocence. Not necessarily that a person is guilty or not, but whether or not you can prove yourself innocent.
I will say this. And I don't know if maybe it was trying to figure out how to work this in. So, season 1 of a podcast that you should listen to.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Serial. They actually talk about a court case, and this young man is put behind bars solely on the word given by a criminal, essentially. And some technology was used to corroborate his story, and not necessarily that information was accurate. So I think this is really an age-old problem, because this was the time before smartphones, whenever this happened, that we think technology may have a solution or could be the solution, only to find out later that, oh, it's not as accurate as we thought.
Sure.
And you think, and that's where kind of goes back into what I was saying earlier. Well, how inaccurate can, video and audio evidence be? Well, there's ways to spoof it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know if, and that's where I say we need to take pause when we say, well, we need to have these things, because just because we have that doesn't necessarily mean
totally agree
that it's the solution.
Right, and I don't know that it is. I'm just making a point that I guess my point is, to my point would be that, are we either heading into a time, or are we already there, that a person's word basically means nothing? For instance,
I think we were there in the 90s.
I agree to that to some point.
Further back, man.
But I remember
back to when I am not a crook.
Well, I'm not really talking about politics.
You can
per
keep
se.
going.
I mean, politics is
Sure.
what it is. I'm talking about your individual person. For instance, I know of a situation personally where I know someone has submitted an inaccurate police report. It's totally false. Okay? But hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
And the only reason they did that is because they knew video evidence could not prove that they're wrong. They found out that video evidence could not prove that they had
so
done
they
that.
fabricated their
Correct.
story.
Absolutely. Gotcha. I know this.
Well,
I know this, but it's only based on my word.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
And that's not good enough.
Yeah. I will say this, too, that, granted that person's situation is different, that they said, oh, I can fabricate this because I know there's nothing that can prove what I'm saying is not accurate. But again, another podcast you should listen to.
Oh, here we go.
About just the way
Guru's asleep.
Just the way
I'm just listening.
No, just the way human memory works in accounts. I mean, something can have just happened to you. Something can happen right now in this room, and we will have 3 different stories.
No, I agree.
That won't line up, and all of us will be wrong, but we'll all be right at the same time.
Yeah, eyewitness testimony is notoriously bad. In a lot of ways. I agree with
more
that.
than notoriously bad. It should not even be admissible.
Well,
no,
I don't think that's
dude,
true
I'm
in
telling
every
you,
case.
do some research and listen.
I do research.
Okay, well, do some more. And you're just like, wow, things are terrible. And it's not that person means to. It's just, it's the way our brains work. It's not made to, it's like I always think of an episode of Futurama when the
no, good grief, we've gotten to this now.
Yeah, we have. When the security camera, says, my memory's a little fuzzy, but it happened exactly like this. And it replays what it recorded. We're not that. And I guess what you're saying is, it still goes back around. Is that what we have to be, and we have to have something and then do that? But then that can still be spoofed. So we're back to the same problem. That now you can't even trust what was supposed to be 100% accurate.
Well,
because nothing's 100% accurate.
I agree. Well, that was good.
Except for that statement I just made. Nothing is 100% accurate.
Well, when we come back,
only the Sith's talking.
We will be moving into the Hey Techie Show last segment of the night.
Stay with us. Hey Techie Show.
Be right back.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Harper Lee is best known as the author of one of the most affecting and widely read books of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird. The native Alabamian drew deeply from her coming-of-age years in her small hometown of Monroeville. The film version of To Kill a Mockingbird underscored the success of the novel with its own success.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Ruby Pickens Tart was one of the foremost chroniclers of folklore, folk music, and narratives of African Americans in rural Alabama. She helped to fill the manuscript and music collections of the Library of Congress and the Federal Writers Project. Ruby Pickens Tart continues to affect the world of folk music and culture as her notes are rediscovered by a new generation of scholars and musicians. She was inducted into the Alabama Women's Hall of Fame in 1980.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
And the stars go dim. Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
Yeah, it's like name that tune. Bruce is he's nailed it.
Yeah.
Again, he did that last week pretty well too.
He sure did. Can't keep a straight face.
You're so full of it, Bruce.
Can't keep a straight face on that one.
Well, why? I mean, why are you?
Oh,
because his phone tells him right on.
Apple people can't know. Apple.
I've
people
said this
just-
on the
yeah,
show.
So you're using Shazam or something?
No. It's built into the latest phone. It's
been in there for a while.
Well, but
Siri has the same thing.
Yeah, but mine just tells me.
It's right on the
home screen. On the lock screen. See, mine still says it down there.
Yeah, mine's already gone off.
Oh,
yeah. Even though some of those I did know, to be fair.
Yeah, Bruce is fake.
No,
you just got to press that button.
Yeah.
You are fake.
He's not fake.
He's just
faking his knowledge of music.
I was wondering when you were going to catch on. But you're like, well, it's impressive. Again, it goes back to a person's word.
There you go. There you go.
The charade is over.
Yeah, I guess. I'll still come up with some. And you'll think, oh, wow. And then you're like, does he really know that one or not?
Yeah, you're going to be like this eventually.
Is the sound working? Can you hear now? No, that doesn't do any good.
When I cut your mic off.
Okay, so we can't let the show go dead tonight without at least mentioning Elon Musk.
Oh man,
at least I know you said, Guru, you said you had some space stuff too.
Yeah, I have a space one too. Yeah,
we'll
but do
no,
Musk.
we'll get it in. We'll get it in because this isn't going to be long. So Elon Musk, everybody knows about his tweets. He tweeted a while back that, hey, he wanted to take...
Yeah, we covered that on the show.
Yeah, I know we have. And you can go back to the last several episodes ago. Yeah. Anyway, he said basically, I want to take the thing private.
Yeah.
I want to take the company private. Well, it turns out he really didn't have the funding.
And he was like, funding secured.
Yeah, funding secured, and he didn't have. Well, then the SEC has decided,
like, what?
Right, and people
buy now,
and it went once the sort of the jig was up, the stock went down.
Yeah,
and a lot of his investors obviously were upset. It felt like it was abrupt and really. I mean, it was Musk. There's no doubt about it. The thing that he with the Indonesia kids that were stuck in the cave, the whole mess with that. He had that going for him or going against him. I don't know which one. And then the SEC said, "Well, yeah, we want you we want you to do a few things for us, and we're going to investigate." And they did. And over the weekend, they came up with an agreement.
Yeah.
And all of that, not everything, but the stock went September 28th, the stocks took a nosedive.
Yeah.
Compared to where it was. And now it's gained all of that and a little bit more after the weekend.
So this goes back to the whole, I guess, in a way, your word thing. And it's just like with security breaches. Like, why invest this money to protect? Why does it matter that he's going to have to pay this money because he said those things? And because in turn, it does nothing to the stock price, but at least return it back to normal. And it makes people money because they're like, it's dropped. I'll buy. It'll go back up. I've made money.
Well, I'm sure some did. I'm sure some didn't.
Yeah,
and of course,
just,
Guru brought up a point in the green room about people's 401ks or IRAs, those type mutual funds, those type things that might be connected to this. So what Bruce is bringing up, one of the concessions is that Tesla or Musk must pay $20 million in fines. Of course, they're saying that that's going to be distributed among traders who were harmed by the tweets.
Oh, I was harmed as a potential trader?
Yeah, potential trader.
I know. I may have been. I mean, I don't know what all my 401k's in. I don't know I don't know the full portfolio.
Yeah, I don't know how we were harmed. I don't know if I was harmed at all.
I potentially was. I could have been going to make an investment. I said, now I don't want to get involved with that.
Now, according to the latest,
all potentials, right?
Musk is off the board. They've got to hire 2 more people to be on the board. He can't be on the board for 3 years. Guru said something about he couldn't be CEO.
I thought I read that somewhere.
I thought I'd read that too, but I also heard that he was still going to be CEO. Okay, he's not going anywhere.
Musk will be able to continue. This is an article from
if he's not on the board, then as CEO he would answer to the board. So
that is correct.
Yeah.
Unless he says I'm also chairman of the board.
Here's what they here's the
He's probably not going to be that either.
Let me give the paragraph. Musk's settlement with the SEC requires him to give up his position as chairman of Tesla for 3 years, the board. Okay. Tesla will also be required to appoint 2 additional board members who are independent of Elon Musk. Musk will be able to continue as CEO, but the SEC aim is to give Tesla's board more independent from Musk and hence to subject Musk to more vigorous oversight.
Okay, that makes sense.
According to this article.
Well,
now
they should make Bruce one of the independent board members.
I agree.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Totally agree.
Now the question
100%.
that's on my mind
I got great ideas.
What effect will this have on SpaceX?
None.
No, hold on.
See, Tesla's publicly traded.
Oh, you're saying unless
SpaceX is a private company.
No, not financially. Wait. You're jumping ahead of me.
I see where you go.
Will he have more time to devote to SpaceX since he's going to have less time to be supposedly involved in Tesla?
I don't think time's going to change.
Okay.
Time involvement's not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
He's just he has to change his roles in Tesla.
I don't think he'll change his roles. He'll
still be CEO, but he can't be he can't hold a seat on the board.
Sure, but that don't mean he won't go to the board meetings.
No, I mean
he doesn't like them anyway.
He'll have to answer to the board exclusively instead of having a vote as part of the board.
Yeah, that would be my assumption too, from what I gather. So, what's your SpaceX news?
It's not SpaceX.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's space.
It's space. Oh,
well, since you mentioned SpaceX, let's see when the next SpaceX launch. That's one thing on the show if you're new to.
And if you're listening tonight, you might be.
5 days away this Sunday. There's a scheduled launch of SpaceX.
Really?
Yeah.
What they send him?
The SAOCOM 1A. Satellite. Yeah, I know you were waiting on that one.
Yeah, I was. Been counting down 5
days.
No,
but my story real quick. I know we got just a couple minutes. So, if you heard of a company called United Launch Alliance?
Can't say that I have.
They're a joint venture between Lockheed and Boeing, and that joint venture was created because their customer is the United States government. They launch satellites and different things into orbit for the U.S. government.
Okay.
Well, they're building a next generation rocket. They're calling it the Vulcan Centaur rocket, and they've announced recently that it'll be powered by Blue Origin's BE-4 engine. And Blue Origin is a private space company that Jeff Bezos started.
Right.
But to tie this into a little localness to Northeast Alabama or to Alabama, those rockets will be manufactured in Huntsville, Alabama, because Blue Origin's in the process of building a plant.
Okay.
Up in the Rocket City of Huntsville. So this article from MadeInAlabama.com talks about that.
So in Huntsville, they're going to build rockets for Blue Origin. Is that
Blue Origin? So here it is. ULA, which produces the Atlas V and Delta IV rockets at a facility in Decatur, which is in the Tennessee Valley, North Alabama, said that the Blue Origin engine will be used in its booster stage of the new launch vehicle, which will be assembled at the Alabama plant.
Okay.
Blue Origin, the space company founded by businessman Jeff Bezos, announced plans in 2017 to open a factory in Huntsville to manufacture the BE-4 engine. And a quote from Governor Kay Ivey of Alabama, "I'm pleased to learn that the ULA has selected Blue Origin and new investments will be made in Alabama to expand our growing aerospace industry." And then she goes on to say, "Alabama has a rich history in aerospace, and titans of innovation continue to choose Alabama as a place to develop new technology and develop 21st century engines for future space utilization. I am excited about our new partnership with Blue Origin and their commitment to our state."
Make sure to vote Kay Ivey. What was her name?
Vote Kay Ivey for governor. That's what her ads would say. So
yeah,
no political endorsements by the Kay Techies show.
None whatsoever here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting with
I don't endorse.
I've not watched Blue Origin that closely, but they're trying to catch up with SpaceX, but they're it's cool that United Launch Alliance is going with a private space industry's engine for their instead of trying to manufacture their own, they say, well, we're going to use this one. We'll just go grab that off the shelf.
Huh.
And then it's total polar opposites to SpaceX, where the whole vehicle is in-house developed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can debate which is better, and we'll save that for people that know more about this than I do. But I thought that was interesting. They said
it'll be good for Alabama.
Yeah, but this plant they're going to build that they announced in 2017. It says a $200 million project to build that plant in Cummings Research Park, which is the nation's second largest research park, will be home to the Blue Origin facility. It's going to $200 million, like I said, expected to create 342 jobs, and probably well-paying jobs.
I would think so.
I would assume there. Blue Origin said it will choose Huntsville for this project because of its high-tech aerospace manufacturing workforce and ecosystem, including NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, nearly 300 private aerospace and defense contractors, and University of Alabama in Huntsville, a top university for NASA research funding. So very logical choice all around, I guess, for the Rocket City to get more rockets.
That's true.
The area's just growing like crazy.
Rockets to get more rockets.
I read somewhere, as an aside, like they're predicting within the next decade, like Huntsville will be the most populated city in Alabama.
I assumed it. Well, no, I guess
no.
not.
I think Birmingham is still the most.
Birmingham currently is, but there's
Jefferson County.
I think the predictions are that's where it's headed.
Yeah.
Not saying it's going to happen, but
I think they've been number 2 for a while.
They have.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, that was my little space story. To kind of put a bow in this episode.
Well.
Now I was gonna say we don't endorse, except for unless it comes with a substantial.
I'll endorse.
fee.
I'll endorse. I'll endorse Apple products.
I'll endorse if you pay me to.
Good grief! Oh, Bruce.
Yeah.
Well, look, we appreciate you listening. Thank you so much, and we hope you will catch us next Monday. And hey, if you enjoyed the show, tell a friend about us. Hey Techies Show. See you next week.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of The Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.